welcome you back to the Dang Right podcast with Coach Nally. I'm your host, Coach Nally. Today's guest is the one and only Travis Spencer. But before we get to Coach Spencer, I want to give a shout out to Max, Trevor Van Dam. Coach, did you ever watch those Jean-Claude Van Damme movies back in the day?
No, I haven't.
Are you serious, bro?
I know. I'm a little young, I guess.
A little young, you're a little lame, bro.
I mean, I saw Siege with Steven Seagal. Jean-Claude Van Damme, I guess, was a little bit before my time.
Oh my, dude, Bloodsport. I mean, kickboxer. Are you serious right now?
I'm serious. I'm gonna put it on my Rolodex. So I'm gonna.
Wow.
Maybe this weekend. Valentine's Day.
Hey man, they're good shows to watch with your wife. I agree. But Trevor Van Dam and the one and only Mr. Kramen for putting this podcast on. I'm so honored for that. Well, Coach, the first thing we always do, man, on this show is we ask about your life story, bro. So let's hear the life story of Travis Spencer.
You got it. Born in Dallas.
Right.
Born in Dallas. I'm a product of Mesquite, Texas. Went to Mesquite High School. I graduated in 2004. My dad was a coach and an educator for a long time, so I guess I kind of followed in those footsteps a little bit, but was very fortunate and blessed to go and play college baseball. I kind of, when I was around the block a little bit, I started at Texas State as a freshman.
Dang right.
And then I got to pitch up here in Denison and at Grayson Junior College. Spent 2.5 years at TCU, and then I ended up finishing at an NAIA in Fort Worth called Texas Westland. And I was able to stay on staff there for a couple years and be a graduate assistant. And I kind of started my coaching career. I knew education and being a baseball coach was obviously in my, was something that I really wanted to do and kind of follow in those footsteps of my dad and the long list of folks on his side of the family that were educators. So COVID hit and I really wanted to kind of, I wanted to get into education and really dive into that. And it's been a blessing ever since. And I got to give a lot of credit to Principal Eckert for giving me this opportunity and Melissa and for, Josh Bobbitt obviously giving me the opportunity to be here and be the associate head baseball coach. And, that's in a nutshell with, obviously the short version, but that's the life story of Coach Spencer.
Dang right. So let's talk about baseball a little bit. So I got my baseball mustache going on, Coach.
You definitely do.
I was a baseball coach. I coached baseball, I don't know how, years. I can't remember how long it was. But, let's talk about this real quick. So, like, your baseball life, okay? So when you're a kid, bro, and you're like, man, dude, like, what position? Because everybody wants to be the shortstop or whatever. What positions did you play?
I was a right fielder, and I was a right-handed pitcher. Pitching wasn't. I guess I mean, I threw hard, but pitching wasn't something that I was. I guess I would have rather played the outfield. And so when I got the chance to do that, with obviously at Texas Westland, Rusty Greer was our third base coach, and Mike Jeffco.
Pretty good third base coach.
It's pretty good. To be able to kind of be under his tutelage there is something that I'll always remember and be very thankful for. But right field was necessary. That was like my position. I was never a good infielder. I had a strong arm, I guess, but I was never an infielder. I was always an outfielder. I like to track balls down. I like to throw. Use my arm, I guess, but infield was not for me. I just like to roam the outfield, I guess, but not as athletic enough to be a center fielder. So at least I'm honest when it comes to that, I guess. But
right. So baseball, there's a lot of great baseball movies out there, bro.
There is.
I like to talk about movies on here, man. Okay. So give me your top three baseball movies of all time.
Bam. Bull Durham's number one.
Gotcha. It's a good one.
Definitely number one. Major League's number two.
It's a great one.
My third and one that I probably watched the most is For the Love of the Game. Kevin Costner.
It's a good one. Good one. So let's talk about this, man. Like, you didn't bring up Rookie of the Year.
No.
Hohen Gardner or Wadden Gardner or whatever. Come on, man.
Roland Gardner.
Rowan Gardner,
yeah.
Bro. Okay. Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Major League is up there.
It's very good.
Okay. But come on, man. The other Kevin Costner movie where if you build it, they will come.
Build a Dreams.
Build a Dreams.
That's got to be far. That's top five, sure.
Dude, man.
That's top five.
I mean, doesn't it make you like when he's at the end throwing with his dad?
It's a very special moment. And now they have the games in the summer. at the actual park out there. I guess it's in
Yeah.
Iowa. I think that's where it's at now.
Yeah.
So
You ever seen Major League 3? Back to the minors?
bits and pieces.
It's the worst, man.
Yeah.
It's the worst. It's terrible. Terrible acting, terrible whole thing. But the guy that plays, he's a big actor now, man, but he's in, oh my gosh, dude. He's in a bunch of stuff, but his name's William Goggins is his name. But he is the main character in Back to the Minors. But yeah, horrible movie. But Major League 1 and 2, legit.
Phenomenal. Yep.
Dude. All right, man. So let's talk about this. If you could put together a baseball coaching staff, now we're fixing to get to the big question too. A baseball coaching staff, okay? Who would it be? Who's your third base coach? Who's your first base coach? Who's your dugout coach? Let's hear it.
Man, pitching coach. Is this big leaguers?
Oh yeah,
Okay, so man, manager's got to be Joe Torre. That's got to
Okay.
be the manager.
gotcha.
Third base coach, I'm gonna go with Rusty. He was
Gotcha.
amazing. He was really, really good third base coach. Really good in games. Man, pitching coach, we went with Mike Maddox. I'll go with Mike Maddox for the Rangers.
Yeah.
And then bench coach, man, I'm gonna go with Clint Hurdle. I don't know if you follow Clint Hurdle on
No, man.
Twitter.
No.
He's amazing. He's actually gone back and forth message wise with Coach Bobbitt. So that's pretty outstanding. You know, for a perennial big league manager to be messing around with Melissa high school baseball coaches.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna bench coach Clint Hurdle. Final answer.
Well, I'll be honest with you, man. If you ever met Coach Bobbitt, you want to go back and forth with that guy.
That is
you know,
that is facts.
And it makes your day much better.
Yes, it
way,
does.
Way better. All right, man. So let's go around the diamond.
Okay,
Put together. I need a DH too, bro.
that's fine. All right, so DH Big Poppy.
Gotcha.
Center fielder, by far my favorite player of all time. That's King Griffey Jr.
Gotcha.
Left fielder, I'm going Barry Bonds, best hitter in the history of the game, in my opinion. Right fielder, I'm going Vlad, best arm. First baseman, we're gonna go Will Clark. We're gonna go Will
What?
Clark.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Second base, man, I have to go Ryan Sandberg. I met him a few times. He's an amazing individual. Second level, next level baseball guy. Shortstop, man, that's a tough one. There are so many good ones. Third base, I'm going Cal Ripken because he made the move to third base.
Yeah.
Um,
You don't go the captain right from the get go.
Shortstop's got to be Jeter.
Yeah. Right.
It's got to be Jeter. And then behind the plate, the one and only Pudge.
Yeah. Dang right. So, but well, time out now. You got to pick one guy to be on the bump.
Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson.
Absolutely.
Coach, this is okay. So
6'10" lefty throwing a hundo. That's pretty tough.
I mean, we're not going like Nolan Ryan, bro.
Dude, I'm going a 6'10" left-hander throwing 100 in his
I don't know
prime.
about that hurts me just because of the fact of it hurts my 12-year-old self.
What
You
about
know
Little
I'm
Big
saying?
League? The movie, we were talking about baseball
Oh,
movies.
great movie, dude.
Little Big League. Randy
Great
Johnson's
movie.
in it. So.
But God, that is a good movie, man. Little Big League. What's that kid's name? Do you remember?
I don't remember his name, but that was one of my favorites.
Do you remember when the guy goes down and he pumps the shoes?
I like the guy that was wrapping his gum around his.
Yeah, dang right.
his
dude.
shoe, yep.
Yeah, dang right. You ever seen Angels in the Outfield?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Matthew McConaughey,
yeah,
early.
dude, right, early McConaughey. So I'm the OC and Melissa, and we had missed a couple PATs, so it just caught on like wildfire, bro. But so I'm in the press box. We score a touchdown, and man, I would just, and then that started, and then everybody in the press box.
We got to bring it back.
In the coach's press box. And then I would turn to my right, the announcers, everybody doing the clock. So, and the kid didn't miss. So we did it all the time. All the time. So, all right, man. So, I mean, I want to go back to the Nolan Ryan conversation because a lot of people, it's almost like the Jordan LeBron, not really, but everyone has their own person and everyone has their own stats and all those things. But I want to go back to the Nolan Ryan piece because let's talk about the greatest pitcher of all time. The greatest pitcher of all time in your mind.
Nolan Ryan, without a doubt. There's nobody better.
Okay, so let's talk about it because I'm with you, but there's a huge debate out there. I mean, let's talk about Greg Maddux.
Right.
Okay, so like Greg Maddux if you look at it, I can't remember the stat, coach, off the top of my head, but he went like 3-0. Coach, I don't remember what it is. It's a stupid stat. It's a stupid stat. And then it's like he went 3-0 with so many hitters, and the percentage is like, coach, like 3%.
I think he walked like less
And-
than 300 hitters in his entire career.
Yes, and he went to 3-0. This is what it was. It's 3-0 because it was an intentional walk. And
That's
it was like
right.
so most of them were intentional walks. So, and then I don't know if you've watched that. It really hadn't come out yet, but they've like seen bits and pieces of the trailer. But to me, it's genius the way, he was calling his pitches. Have you seen that?
I have.
I mean, dude, like, come on, dude. They call him the professor for a reason, but like, I mean, he's up there not throwing gas because we all get enamored with gasoline.
Velocity, yep.
You know what I'm saying? A guy going up there throwing 88 and has every pitch perfectly located. Coach, is he not in the conversation? Don't get me wrong, bro. I'm with you. Nolan, I'm on the Ryan Express.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Nolan Ryan, as a kid, I wanted to be Nolan Ryan. I did the high leg kick and everything, thinking I was fixing to throw 100 miles an hour. Nolan Ryan. But how does Greg Maddux fit in that?
I mean, he's got to be in the top 5, if not top 10, at least 100%. I watched something on social media the other day and it was like 95, I think 96. He faced Jeff Bagwell in the regular season and gave up a homer to him down the left field line. I think he threw an arm side 2-seam right on the inner half, and Bagwell hit it out. And he wanted to showcase that. And then was telling his catcher, I can't remember the name of the catcher, but longtime Braves catcher. It wasn't Javi Lopez, it was someone else. Well, they got back to the divisional series that year, and he threw him 3 straight changeups, strike him out in a big-time situation. So he didn't want to show him anything in the regular season to set him up for later on in the season. I think that's how next level intelligent the guy was. And you see how intelligent his brother is, being,
Right.
A World Series champion pitching coach. But, I mean, I wanted to be Kerry Wood. That was my guy.
Yeah, dang right, dude.
Grand Prairie native.
Dang right.
Back in the Cubs, I modeled all of my mechanics after him. I mean, his breaking ball. I was very, very interested to try and get my breaking ball to break like his. Obviously, it was never going to, but I was a big Kerry Wood fan. But Greg Maddux has to be in the top 10 without a doubt.
All right, so let's talk about, as we're sitting there talking about Greg Maddux, let's talk about the greatest pitching staff of all time.
Man, we may see it this year with the Dodgers.
Okay, so let's hear about it, bro.
So they've got the Japanese guy that came over last year, Yamamoto.
Mm-hmm.
They got Shohei Ohtani, Clayton Kershaw. They just signed yesterday, so he's back in their rotation. If it's a 6th starter. They signed Roki Sasaki, the newfound 22, 23-year-old flamethrower from Japan. So they have him. They have Bobby Minor coming back. They have Walker Buehler coming back. Actually, Walker Buehler's now with the Red Sox. They've got, everybody in their rotation's a creative player at those 100. They got Dustin May coming back. But those early Braves rotations where Smoltz, Glavine, and Maddux were insane.
And I'm biased. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I grew up watching. I was a huge Ranger fan, but the Rangers when I was a kid was, and then when I always said this, they finally won the World Series, but I'd always say, man, they gave you hope. And then the All-Star break would happen, and then they wouldn't give you any hope. It was bad. And then it was almost like, let's go back to Major League and that movie. And they're like, the Quaid brother goes, they'll screw it up in the playoffs. And I was always the same with the Rangers. The Rangers made the playoffs. I'd be like, they're going to screw it up in the playoffs. And they usually would. But World Series champs, baby.
Unbelievable.
World Series champs.
Unbelievable.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, man. What's the craziest thing that you've ever seen on a baseball field?
Man.
While you're thinking, Coach, I'm going to tell you mine. Y'all were doing bunt coverages today.
Correct.
Okay. So, Coach, I'm the head baseball coach in Frankston, Texas. We're playing a team called Malakoff, the Malakoff Tigers.
Dang right, Cedar Creek Lake.
Dang right, dude. So, make a long story short, third baseman's playing back. I'm like, you know what, man? I'm going to bunt. Lay down a bunt. It's perfect. Boom. Kid gets on. Awesome. Third baseman's still playing back. So, you know what? I'm going to bunt again. I bunt again. Third baseman picks it up. Coach, he's going to rifle that sucker to first base. Coach, right when he rifles it, the pitcher literally turns to the first baseman before the kid throws it. And he throws it and he hits that kid in the back of the head. He hits
Oh
the
my
pitcher
God.
in the back of the head. Boom, ball bounces on the ground. Well, they all are in shock. You know, the kid grabs his head. Oh, everyone's in shock that the kid got hit in the back of the head with the ball. So I'm like, let's go. You know, so no one's on third. So I get to third. Well, about the time people start figuring out, third baseman grabs it. He throws it into left field. Score. Guy comes back. They throw it in. Gets overthrown. Score. So, coach, a kid inside the park, homer off of a bunt,
To third base.
takes it off. The pitcher takes it off the back of the head. Coach, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen in a baseball game.
I mean, our center fielder, when I was at West, I was coaching at the time, and our center fielder went through the center field wall
Yeah,
and
heck
made the
yeah.
catch. I mean, off the top of my head, one of the craziest things that I've ever seen live. I mean, one of the craziest things I've ever seen in baseball was Fernando Tatis hitting 2 grand slams in the same inning.
That's pretty good.
But as far as that, I guess that's got to be the craziest thing that I ever witnessed live. I couldn't, none of us could believe it that he was still alive.
What about you, man? You're playing baseball. You hit, you whatever. What's the thing you're like, dude, I'm bad to the bone at this.
I hit for the cycle my senior year in college with 2
Dude,
bombs.
dang right.
Yeah,
dude.
I did. That was one of the things that I'll always remember. We were at College of Southwest in New Mexico, and we set numerous records that day. We set like the run scored record. We set the RBI record. We set plate appearance. Our leadoff hitter set a plate appearance record, and then I hit for the cycle, which is really tough to do in
Yeah, heck
baseball.
yeah.
But that was one of those days where you walk away like, Lee, like that was kind of a, it's one of those things that sticks with you forever that you kind of had it going on that day. So I would say that. I mean, that's one of the main things that that sticks out. But very blessed after that game.
In 1995, Coach, I was a freshman in high school. I hit for the cycle.
Dang it.
I was on the JV. But I hit for the cycle. But Coach, the thing that happened to me, I was like, dude, I might be okay at this. I played center and long fly ball. And Coach, I'm running. Like you're supposed to communicate with each other.
Correct.
Left fielder, not going to say his name. He knows who he is. Okay. He's in our profession, by the way. But didn't say a word. And Coach, I run right into the fence. Okay. But as I run into it, I catch it. Now, Coach, I'm going to be honest with you, man, like blacked out. Okay. This is back in the day where the fence is about 4 foot and it's iron. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I run right into it, make a long story short, but I held on the ball. And
That's all that matters.
When I came to, I was like, dude, dang right.
Yeah.
Go me. Now they scored a run because, they tagged up and, I still had the ball in my hand. But I was like, yeah, man.
Catch is made. It's all that
Yeah,
matters.
Yeah, heck yeah. So you're walking up to the plate, dude. What's the walk-up song?
Oh man, there was a song. There was a song it was a movie, and it was called Requiem for a Dream. Very different movie. Drew Stubbs had this walkout song when he was at Texas when I was a freshman, and I idolized it for whatever reason. I loved it. But if I'm being honest, I'm gonna say "Kickstart My Heart" by Motley Crue.
Dang right, dude. Dang right. I'm going to go back to my era because mine would be Sabotaged by the Beastie Boys.
Okay.
Love it. So I always think that's a big deal too. Like, I don't know if you guys do it this year, but I know in
We
the
do.
past, they're talking about like, that's a big deal. Like, what's your walk-up song?
For sure. I mean, I have an entire spreadsheet with them all, and we got to make sure that they're clean and they're appropriate. And so, yeah, I've been dealing with that for a couple weeks. And you got kids trying to change them, and so.
It's wild is I remember Jacob Casano's was Baby Shark.
Man, he was a good one.
Yeah, golly, dude. You just talking about a winner.
Just an absolute dude.
A winner.
Just a dude.
So I've been here for 10 years, and the first Melissa event I went to, Melissa was playing Salina in the 3rd or 4th round, and they're playing baseball in the third or fourth round, and I was just so amazed by just the level of baseball. I had been, like I said, a head baseball coach for 10 years, but just overall, the level of baseball by everyone. I say that to say this, man. Who is the best player, high school baseball player or college baseball player you've ever seen, witnessed on your team? You're like, that's a dude, or you played against or coached against.
Man, Rhett Bomar was really good when we were in high school.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
Bearcat, by the way. Shout out to the
I
St.
mean,
Augustine Bearcat.
really, I mean, he everything he did, he just raked. That I mean, I when I was a freshman, we went 4 rounds. We went to regional finals when I was a freshman, and ended up getting beat by the eventual state champion Round Rock Dragons. Abe Woody was on that team. He was really really good. Man, there were a lot of Preston Clark at Rockwall when we were a sophomore. Drew Bishop, who is now the director of baseball operations at Texas. They were next level dudes. But man, I would have to say, when I was in high school, the guy that he was unreal, was Rhett Bomar. I mean, really, really good.
Let me ask you this question, man. So we're talking about really good baseball players. So when people say, "Hey, who's the baseball coach at Melissa?" I say Josh Bobbitt. They'll say, "Is that the same guy at Wichita Falls Rider when they had all that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they'll be like, "Coach, it's the best baseball team I've ever seen in my life."
Right.
Phelps, he played against him. I don't know if you knew that or
Mm-hmm.
not, but he gave up 7 before they took him out. But he was like, everybody on the team could smash. So, I mean, have you heard anything about that? Because, I mean, they're talking about like one of the, that little pocket there, one of the best dynasties of baseball, high school baseball. I mean, have you heard about that
Oh
too?
yeah, yeah. I mean, Wichita Falls Rider has always been, or just that area has always been really, really powerhouse in baseball, and you know, Josh being the guy he is, baseball wise, is one of the best to ever do it. Has been to 10 state championships or something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
So I mean, there's not a better guy to learn under, and there's not a better guy to be alongside you than Josh Bobbitt. But he's that team, I've heard, has been is second to none in that area, and I think they were preseason top 5 in the state that year. So
really?
Yeah. So hopefully we get to experience that.
Right.
But yeah, that was obviously that was a team that for the ages.
So, like, I've been coaching for a long time, but as a player too, like, I'm just curious, did you have like a superstition or whatever the case may be, like, before the game? What was your deal? Like, you had to do, or you're in a slump, you had to do this or whatever.
Yeah, I would run 3 foul poles before every single game. And I never changed my socks. I mean, literally, I wore the same
Gross,
socks until they fell apart.
That's gross.
That was yeah. Now I washed them,
Okay, I got
but
you.
the 3 foul poles was a big deal. I don't know what it was. It was just I had to run 3 foul poles, and I don't know. That was just something that I always stuck in my mind. And even if I was in the outfield or I was playing in the outfield or if I was pitching, it didn't matter. Like I had to run 3 foul poles.
Right.
That was
Right.
my big superstition.
Right.
So
Man, dude, I don't know if I had any superstitions. I mean, I probably got more superstitions as a coach than I did as a kid. Like, as a kid, man, I was just ready to go.
yeah,
And you kind of like, okay, as a coach, you're like, is my team ready to go? When you knew as a kid, you're like, dude, let's do this. Let's go.
absolutely.
I don't need anything. I don't need any music. I don't need a pregame speech. I need nothing. Just say, let's play.
Let's go.
Ball game. Let's go. So, yeah. Uh, all right. So to me, baseball, coach, I don't know if you've ever seen the George Carlin football versus baseball thing. He does a comedic kind of thing about it. Like, football's played on the gridiron. Baseball's played on the diamond.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think I've seen. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, to me, baseball is so therapeutic and it's so fun to play. But I think with baseball, there comes a little bit more, you have an opportunity to kind of be loose a little bit, especially when the game's not going on and things like that. So, man, what's the best prank you've ever seen in the clubhouse or anything like that?
That's got to be the lighting the shoe on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we did it in college where someone lit someone's shoelace on fire, and By the time they realized that, their shoelace is on fire, everybody's freaking out.
Yeah.
That was it. I mean, we didn't want to get too over the top with them because you can, but I think that was in college. That was one of the funniest ones that we were a part of, just because you're not expecting it, you're paying attention, and all of a sudden
Right.
this kid's shoes on
Yeah.
fire and he's freaking
Yeah.
out. So I mean, yes, it is a loose. You try to be as loose as possible, for sure.
I mean, let's be honest with each other, though. I mean, that's the one sport that you have to be positive with yourself, and you have to be loose,
For sure.
but you have to be. I really feel like baseball is a sport where you can't hide.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a sport where you're going to get found really quick. And with that being said, you don't want to get found with quote unquote your pants down. And what I
Correct.
mean by that is not taking it seriously. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And but also, I mean, you know how it is. Like they always say, like if you make a mistake and you're negative and you're down, the baseball
It's gonna find
gods
you
is
again.
gonna come get you again.
For
You
sure.
know, so that's a big deal for me. So let me ask you this, man. You can't coach anymore. Coaching's over for you. What does Travis Spencer do with his life?
Uh, I was a general manager of an indoor baseball facility for 4 years,
Oh, sweet, dude.
and then I guess 2012, 2014, 15. I guess 2012, 2015. So about three years. That's really what I would do. I mean, I would. That's what I would want to do is build a. I'm not saying I would want to have to do lessons all the time, but I would want to have a place where kids could come in and perform, and kids could come in and do what they need to do and get lessons and things like that. I also have I'm a big, obviously education's really big in our lives. And so when I was at that facility, we had computers galore, but we had a certain room dedicated to students that would come in after school. It was in Richardson. So we had a lot of folks that would drop their kids off 4 o'clock or whatnot, and kids would go in and they would start doing homework, before their lessons. And so I designed an area on the far left side of the facility, or in the main common area, with certain computers where kids could go in there and they could knock out homework or they could do certain things. And by the time I realized it, I had all these kids showing up at 4, but it became their safe haven, I
Right,
guess. It
right.
became their place where they could, they could come and be themselves, and then you have a different aspect of, making sure that they understand education is a huge part of their lives. And it's going to be if they want to be an athlete, because at the end of the day, if you can't get it done in the classroom, then you're not going to get it done on the field regardless. So, um, being able to give back to the community and the kids like that is something that I will always, treasure, and something that I would love to do again if I have the opportunity, because, to be a small part of young kiddos and their career and their path is, I mean, how can you not be jacked up about that?
Yeah, dude, that's legit. That's legit. Trev, how much time do I got left? How much time, Trev? I'm sorry. I got 5 minutes left. Okay, cool. I'm gonna ask 2 more questions. All right. All right, dude. So let's ask this question, dude, because to me, this says a lot about who you are as a person. Okay. All right. You could pick one person to throw out the first pitch in the history of the world. Who's that person?
Jackie Robinson.
Jackie. Golly, dude, man. That's a great answer.
Dang right.
I was wanting to come back with making fun of you or something. I can't, dude. That's a great answer. Why?
But first, African American, he's the beacon of diversity, and African Americans being able to play the game of baseball. I mean, not only was he that, but he was an unbelievable baseball player and an icon. I mean, we wear his jersey number for, I think it's the second week of the season, maybe not, but it's one of the first couple weeks of the season where everybody honors the number 42.
Mhm.
I think it's a great movie. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie, but he's an icon, and he
Right.
paved the way for a lot of your King Griffey Juniors and a lot of these folks that have played the game, and he was Pee Wee Reese and him obviously had a special relationship and have a special moment in that movie where one day we'll all wear 42. And I just think that he paved the way for a lot of different guys to be able to play this game and I mean, that's historic and iconic.
I wore number 42. People be like, "That's not a baseball number," and
Yeah,
I'm like, "Yeah, man, it's a baseball number."
for sure.
So, but yeah, that's good. So, the last question that I'm going to ask you, dude. All right, we're going to do something new on the Dang Right podcast.
Okay.
Okay. Um, are you willing to Are you willing to participate in the Tex Morton Farms? This is my granddad. Tex Morton Farms question of the week.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So this question comes from Coach Bobbitt. What is the fetish with wearing short shorts and tight joggers that are way too short and obviously don't fit?
The shorts are not that short. I'm a big Lululemon guy. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm a big Lululemon guy. Yeah. So, I got longer shorts. We ordered new cloth, so I got longer shorts. But I don't know, they're comfortable. And
It's not a weight issue or anything?
No, I think my figure looks nice actually.
I'm supposed to ask you that.
Yeah, no, that's not shocking. That's not shocking. No, I mean, I think you'll see a new Coach Spence come spring.
It's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us today for the Dang Right podcast. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
For being here. Before we leave, though, is there anything you want to add or comment on?
No, I mean, I appreciate the opportunity. It's it's very grateful and blessed not only to be here at Melissa, but on the staff and the associate head baseball coach and building a culture that we have been longing to build since August. And
awesome,
so thank you for allowing me to be here, and go Cards.
Well, let me tell you this, man, just real quick, man. Y'all have done an amazing job. I've been to most of all your practices, and just you guys, it's y'all are doing a wonderful job, and I'm really
Appreciate
excited about the season. I know you guys are, and the kiddos are too. But thank you again for joining us, and we'll see everybody back next week on the Dang Right podcast.